What is up YouTube? Welcome back to another Moralis tutorial video. In this video, we're going to check out how you can set up automated email notification based on any blockchain events that occur on EVM networks. We're going to do this using a Python app and Moralis streams. So here on Moralis admin dashboard, I've set up a stream to listen to this new donation smart contract on the Polygon Mumbai testnet. The contract is over here, and I'm connected to the Polygon scan with this account 0x4c. And over here on the side, I have my email. So anytime a new donation occurs, I should get an email that someone has given me a donation. How cool does that sound? So let's go ahead and make a donation over here. Let's go ahead and send, for example, 1.7 Matic to this owner. Let's write this message and MetaMask pops up. Ask us, do we want to make this donation of 1.7 Matic? We confirm. We wait for the transaction to go through. And we're waiting for the new donation to go through. We have luckily 2.9 Matic, so we should be able to make the 1.7 Matic donation. And now as we wait, we should soon get an email notification. Look at that, new donation from this account 0x4c, and the transaction also went through on MetaMask. And look at that, we have a new donation over here and an email message 04xc, the account number just sent you 1.7 in Matic. And this works for any smart contract interaction, a wallet transaction, NFT collection, listeners. If this sounds interesting to you, stay stuck in and I'll show you how to build this.
Hey, I'm Jay, your Moralis instructor from beautiful Finland. I got into crypto in 2020 and I've been building in the space ever since. In my free time, I enjoy running and at the gym, and in the summer, you'll definitely find me at the golf course. Now, let's get stuck in and learn about Web3.
All right, getting started with this project, we'll start in our IDE Visual Studio Code where I have this repository open called Automate Emails. And over here, we'll start off our Python virtual environment. So run Python 3-m vnv. This creates the vnv folder over here in your directory. And then we can go ahead and start it off by running source vnv-bin / and activate. And now to make sure that you know your virtual environment is started, you should have this VNV over here in your terminal. Now we can go ahead and install our dependencies, but let's first make sure we have pip installed, pip install -- upgrade pip. So this will just make sure that we have the latest version of pip installed on our system, like so. And then go ahead and install your dependencies, which will only be pip install Flask and Flask _ cores to allow your cross-origin requests. So now with that set up, we can go ahead and close our terminal for a while over here and jump here into our repository, create a file over here. We can call it, for example, backend.py, whatever you'd like. And over here, we'll start off by importing a sample Flask app, which will have one endpoint, which we'll use as our webhook URL, to which we can send blockchain events as webhooks from Moralis. All right, so I have one ready on my clipboard, so let me just paste it in over here. And you see we import Flask and Flask cores and some of the different functionality from Flask over here. We initialize the app, allow cross-origin requests over here. And then we have this one route over here, which takes a post request and it's to the streams endpoint of our Flask app. Currently, the functionality only returns a success message to whoever sends the request, but this is where we'll go ahead and write our functionality to handle the webhook that we're receiving from Moralis of a smart contract event or any blockchain event you could think of. And then over here at the bottom, we just make sure to define that we'll run this Flask up on port 3000 once we power this Flask up. So now what we can do is jump over into our browser and head over to moralis.io to set up a stream. All right, so the Moralis admin dashboard looks like this. If you don't have a Moralis account already, you can head over to moralis.io where you can get set up with a Moralis account for free. Now here in the left sidebar, we have this streams option. Let's click that. And we have this empty table over here because we haven't set any blockchain listeners yet. But we can simply create a new stream. You could use any of the sample ones, or you can create one from scratch. We'll just create one for our own smart contract where we have a simple donation mechanism. But you can view our channel where we've done other tutorials on streams. You can listen to streams of USD stablecoins being transferred, NFTs being transferred, any specific wallet and their transactions, any events that occur on EVM blockchains, you can listen to using Moralis streams. But for our case, we'll just use the simple one we have on the Mumbai network, our own contract over here, which is a simple donation contract. It has one event called donate, where whenever someone calls the new donation function, it emits this donate event with the sender of the donation and the value in the native currency, which is Matic, that has been donated. But because it is a native transaction, we're sending Matic, we can just listen to the transactions that occur on this smart contract and we'll know all the incoming donations. And what we'll do is for the contract owner, which is myself, I will get a notification in the email format that someone has created a new donation. So what we'll do is we'll copy over the contract address, jump into Moralis over here, paste it in here, and then we'll go ahead and scroll down, give it a description, new donation, for example, like so. Then for the webhook URL, we'll come to that very shortly. We'll have to start up our Flask app and make sure there is an ngrok tunnel running so we can actually access our Flask app through the internet. Then for the tag, you can give any tag you like, for example, new donation again, like so. As we scroll down, we have to select the network our smart contract is on, which is on the Polygon Mumbai testnet. Again, you can look at any smart contract events, any transactions on any of these networks. And how cool does that sound? And now, because I said we're only interested in native transactions, because we're receiving donations in the native currency of the network, we can listen to the native transactions. And the only function that the smart contract allows is the donation. So we'll see all the donations coming in. And here we have other options. So if you wanted to listen to specific events like NFT transfers, stablecoin transfers, whatever you'd like, you could press that and provide the application binary interface. That's out of the scope for this video, but you can check out our other streams videos on the Moralis YouTube channel to get started with these more intricate setups. And again, you can even provide options. So if you want to listen to only transactions where a specific amount is set, you could set that over here. But now we can't press create streams because we haven't provided the webhook URL. So let's go check out how we can create this webhook URL. Let's open up our Visual Studio Code where we have our backend.py Flask app. Let's make sure we indent all of these similarly, like so. And now because we are importing requests from Flask, we can get the body of the post request that Moralis will send. So let's just make sure we print that, for example, over here in our Flask app's first iteration. So what we can do is get the request.json, which will have the body of the request. And then we can go ahead and print details to make sure that we know that what Moralis is actually sending us when a blockchain event occurs. And then we just return a success message to Moralis. So let's go ahead and save that and let's fire this up. So open up your terminal again, like so, and let's go ahead and type python3 backend.py to launch up our Flask app over here. And look at this, this is just a development server, so that's why you get this warning, but it should be active and running on localhost 3000. Now this is just running locally on our machine, but if we open up another terminal window, like so, zoom in a little bit, you can install something called ngrok, sudo npm install ngrok, which will allow you to create a tunnel to any ports you have running locally on your machine. I've already installed it, so I won't do that now, but you should install ngrok. And then what you can run is ngrok http and the port your app is running on, which is 3000 over here. We'll type the 3000 in here. And now we have, if we open this up just a tad, like so, localhost 3000 is also running on the internet at this address. So we can use this as our webhook URL as long as we append it with the streams endpoint of our Flask app. So let's copy that, jump back over to our Moralis admin dashboard where we have our webhook URL, paste it in here, and make sure to append with the streams so we know that our webhook is going to the right location where we accept post requests. And now our create streams is available. So let's go ahead and create the stream. And we should notice our first successful post request, as it'll send an empty webhook when you're just initializing your first stream. And we can go check out Visual Studio Code where we have it running. And here you also see this is the format of the webhook that Moralis sends. Of course, now all the fields are empty because this was just a test, but now we can go ahead and test this out initially by going back to Google Chrome, and we have our Polygon Mumbai scan open over here. We can jump over here in the contract tab to write the contract where we have this new donation function over here. Let's make sure we connect to Web3 with our MetaMask account over here. And it connects us to our account 0x9, which is our account 5, I believe, account 5 over here where we have 6 Matic. So now let's go ahead and make a new donation of say 2 Matic, write this, and we can open up our terminal here at the same time so we see whenever a new webhook arrives. And go ahead and scroll down to the MetaMask transaction and confirm the 2 Matic to be donated to the smart contract. And now as we wait, we should get a post. See here, you see 200. Okay, our webhook was sent. So now Moralis noticed that on the Polygon Mumbai testnet, someone made a new donation on the smart contract we're listening to and sent a new webhook to our Flask app. You can see here on MetaMask also, this new donation of 2 Matic has just gone through. And Visual Studio Code, here we also have the contents of the webhook as we are printing the request.json over here. And what you notice here, Moralis automatically parses the native transactions that happen in that specific block over into this array. And because we, of course, only made one, it'll only have one transaction over here. And what the details are, we have the from address, which is our 0x92, and we also have the value that was transferred in the native currency, which is 2 Matic. It has the 18 decimal points over here. So that's all the information we need. Simply, Moralis constantly listens to all the transactions and events that are happening on the Polygon Mumbai testnet for our smart contract we specified. And whenever one happens, we get the information to our Flask app over here on Python. And just as a final note, when this transaction initially happens, we have this confirmed key, which is set to false, because the transaction might still be dropped from the blockchain if another branch has been created. So only after a certain amount of blocks have passed and we can confirm that our transaction will stay on the blockchain, you'll get another webhook with confirmed true. So probably you'd like to write some logic into your stream's endpoint to only look at webhooks with confirmed true. But in our case, we'll look at only webhooks with confirmed false to show in a speedy way all the webhooks that are arriving. But it usually takes about a minute and then you'll get your confirmed true webhook. So now we can go ahead and close this down and start modifying our functionality over here to not just print the transaction that occurred, but actually send an email to the owner that someone has donated to their smart contract. But before we do that, just for good practices, let's open up our Moralis admin dashboard and pause our stream while we're actually not using it. So this is just good practices that you don't use up your streams when you don't actually need them. So jumping back into Visual Studio Code, now let's first import all the required dependencies over here at the top. So these all come built in with Python. So we'll use the email, secure socket layer, and SMTP technology to make sure that we send our email securely using Gmail. Now we can also initialize a few variables here at the start. For example, for the email sender, email receiver, and the subject of the email. So in my case, I'll just be sending the emails from my account to my own account here, my own Moralis email, which is set up on Gmail, and the subject will be a new donation. But of course, you could set up any emails you wanted over here, and you could even send the emails to multiple recipients. And what we'll also have to do is set up the email pass, because you will need to give Python access to your email to be able to send the email through Gmail. But we're doing it through secure socket layers, so it is all secure. And what you'll do is do the email pass variable. And in here, we'll have to go ahead and jump over to our Google account to go ahead and create a app password for this specific use case. So jump into Google Chrome over here in google.com, and we can check out our account over here and manage your Google account. You'll jump into security, and what you'll have to make sure you do is set up two-step verification and create an app password. And you'll come to this app passwords page where you can create a new app. You'll create a other and create a name. You can call it Python mailer, and then it will give you a 16-digit password for your specific app. I already created one, Python mailer over here. So what I'll do is use that as password, but make sure to keep this very secure, because if this leaks out, anyone has access to your email. So then jump over back into Visual Studio Code, and the password you got on that page, you can paste it over in here. I won't paste it in this case, but make sure to paste over in here. Now, as we scroll down, we can go ahead and start writing our functionality in here. First, what we'll do is we'll start by writing that conditional to check if the webhook is actually confirmed. So from our request.json, we can get the confirmed key, like you see over here. And if it is confirmed, we'll just return a success message and not go through the rest of the functionality of the function. And this is just because this will allow us to instantly get our webhook details in this tutorial, but in reality, you would like to actually set this to equal false, like so. So now you wouldn't get any emails if the webhook or the transaction isn't actually confirmed on the blockchain. But this is just the initial checkup over here. Then what we'll do is rather than getting the whole response over here, we're only interested in the transactions array over here. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and close this terminal, and over here we'll call the details our transactions key over here, and then we can loop around all the transactions that were present in the webhook, and usually it'll be only that one, because only one donation will usually be in one block that the webhook sends. So we can loop through all the donations in the transactions array. We'll call them donation in the details array that we created over here. So initially what we can do is go ahead and get the value that was donated. So the amount will be equal to the donations value divided by the 18 decimals. And this is an integer. So remember, when we're going to go ahead and write our email, we have to go ahead and change it back to a string. Then what we'll do is it will initialize our email setup. So we'll write em equals email message from the email library. Then for just the details, we can specify the from, to, and the subject of the email, like so. And we set these variables over here at the top of our Flask app. So that's where we're getting these variables from. And now what we can do is set the content for our email. And that we'll do by doing em.setContent. And for the content, what we'll write is, first we'll want to get the donation address, which we can get from our donation object. It'll be the from address. Then we'll add has just sent to you. And then we'll add the amount over here that we calculated at the start of our for loop, remembering to convert it to a string over here. And of course, add your plus over here. And then go ahead and finally, you could say what the currency is, but you'd already know that in Matic over here. So now we have our from address, our to address, the subject of the email, and this will be the content of your email. Of course, you could set whatever content you would like. And now what we'll have to do is we'll have to set up our secure socket layer to make sure we can make the connection to the Gmail server securely and no one can eavesdrop on the emails that we're sending. So let's go ahead and create a context, which will be equal to secure socket layer, and create a default context. Now what we can do is use the SMTP technology from the SMTP library to connect to the Gmail SMTP server, log in to our Gmail account, and send the email. So how we go ahead and do that is with SMTP library, we'll make sure to use our secure socket layer. And then for Gmail, you can of course check your own email provider's SMTP, but for Google, it will be smtp.gmail.com, and the port used is 465. And for the context, we use this default context we created over here. So our context will be equal to default secure socket layer context. And then we just write as SMTP, and then we can write the functionality over here. So we'll first want to use SMTP to log in, and the first argument will be your email. And then you'll pass your email pass that we just generated and brought into this file over at the top. And then you'll use smtp.sendMail. And over here, you again first type out the from address, which is stored in our email variable. Then the to address, which is in our email receiver variable. And then finally, this em object we created over here as a string, em.as string, like so. And if you don't believe me, this is all it takes. Now we should have a successfully created automated email that responds to blockchain events and sends us an email. So let's go ahead and save this now. And before we go ahead and open up our terminal and run this again, let's go ahead and also make sure that we've received the webhook and we can see it in our terminal. So print email sent, for example. So now in our terminal, whenever an email is sent, we'll also see it over in here. So what we'll do is now, because it's actually already running over here, we can jump back into Moralis and restart our stream. So jump back into Google Chrome. Over here in your Moralis admin dashboard, you can go ahead and activate the stream. Now this activation might have actually sent us an empty webhook. So let's go check that out over here in Visual Studio Code. It was probably caught over here because we didn't have the confirmed key in the webhook, but that is actually good for us. So now what we can do is go ahead and make a transaction on the smart contract and actually see if an email comes in. So let's open up Google Chrome. Let's open up my email into one tab as well. So this is my Gmail email that we set it up with. So let's jump back into the donation smart contract over here on Polygon Scan and make another donation of, for example, 2 Matic. Let's just check that we actually have the 2 Matic. Yeah, we had 6. We only sent 2. So we can go ahead and write this. Let's go ahead and confirm the message. And now we can go ahead and check out our terminal. Actually, let's go ahead and check out Visual Studio Code. So we should get a success message and an email sent printed out over here. So now our email should have been sent. If we go check out our inbox, look at that. We have an email with new donation 069233 has just sent you 2.0 in Matic. How sweet is that? That's automatic email sent to you through smart contract events. And as I said to you, you can listen to any smart contract events. It doesn't have to be your own specific smart contract. It can be a wallet address, a NFT collection, a cryptocurrency, whatever you think on an EVM chain. So now let's just make sure that this actually works. Let's go back. Let's go ahead and jump back in here. Let's go ahead and connect to a different account. Let's refresh the page, change our account over here on MetaMask. Let's go on account 1. See here has a lot of test Matic over here because they're the owner of the smart contract and they're receiving the Matic. Let's go to account 3 over here that has 7 Matic. Let's go ahead and connect to Web3, MetaMask. Now 0x4c is connected, and let's make a new donation. We're feeling very generous. Let's donate 4.8 Matic. Let's write that. Let's scroll down, confirm, and now let's automatically jump into our email over here. Let's see when it goes through on MetaMask side. We just got a new donation over here, and it hasn't even processed on MetaMask side. So how cool is that? Because it's already on the blockchain. So we got the new message, 0x4c has just sent you 4.8 in Matic. How cool is that? We can check out MetaMask. So MetaMask should have probably processed it now. 4.8 Matic has gone away from our account. And in Visual Studio Code, we should see another email has happened. So that is how you can send automated emails based on blockchain events using Moralis streams and a Python Flask app. How cool is that? I hope this video was informative for you and inspires you to create your own Web3 apps. I'll catch you in the next one.